guys, so I just wanted to share my story because this all that you see here, this smile, this happiness, this hasn't always been the case, and it has been quite a transformation journey for me, and I don't share it all that often, so I wanted to share it with you tonight. But to do that, I feel like I need to start a little bit before the real transformation took place, to give you a little bit of backstory. So when I was 18, I got really, really sick, and that sickness led to a lot of surgeries and a lot of rehab. I was in the hospital for 60 something days, and I had many surgeries, both then and afterwards. I left the hospital in a wheelchair, unable to walk. I missed my first 2 semesters of college because I was relearning how to work my body, and because all of that happened, I grew a lot, but I also kind of learned to not look at my body. I hated it. It was all scarred up. It wasn't the same body that I had started that summer with. And I just knew that it was never gonna look good again. So I just kind of covered it up and didn't pay attention to it, and that was all there was to it. Through that healing, I also discovered that I had lupus, which is an autoimmune disease, and the way that is treated is with a lot of really yucky meds, steroids and things like that make you, they tend to make you gain weight, and they tend to have really bad side effects that I was inevitably going to have to take for the rest of my life. And lupus makes you chronically tired. So I knew that was just gonna be my lot in life. That's what I was gifted. I had this ripped up body that had been kind of pieced back together, and I had this autoimmune disease that I was always going to have to manage, and that is how I started my adulthood. I still got married. I still, graduated college, and was enjoying my life, enjoying my marriage, and we decided that we wanted to have a baby. And I found a rheumatologist who was able to help me get pregnant and have a healthy baby girl. But I was working full time at the time, and she was active and, didn't sleep a lot, and I was exhausted, like to the core all the time. So exhausted, I really just didn't even know what to do with myself. I didn't have the joy that I wanted to in parenting because I was so tired all the time. I would come home from work, pick her up from daycare, bring her home, make some, frozen dinner or TV dinner or something, sit on the couch with my husband, and we would literally count down the minutes until I could just start the bedtime routine. And that was my life every single day. I spent the weekends recuperating from the week, and I guess I sort of felt like by the time I was rounding to my 30th year that my peak in life had already passed me, and that it was all going to be downhill from here, and that parenting wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and that I didn't want any more kids. So around that time, I was introduced to an at-home fitness program that also had a nutrition component with it. And I was so frustrated with, my body not feeling good, my body not looking good, me turning 30, it was like a quarter life crisis. I decided, it's a 3-week program. I'm going to go all into it because I can do it from home. The workouts were really short, so I thought I could figure it out. And my sister-in-law was like, the nutrition is easy. You can do it. You can follow it. If I can do it, you can do it. So I was like, whatever, I will try it. And I not only started to get in really good shape, but I was finally losing some of that weight that I had been stuck with since pregnancy, pre-pregnancy, and I was learning how to eat foods that benefited my body instead of just like whatever said diet or whatever said, reduced fat or whatever. I was learning why those weren't necessarily the answer to what my body needed, and what kept my body healthy didn't just help me to lose weight. And I started to feel better. I started to have more energy. I started to think about, well, maybe we could have another kid. You know, I feel more confident in my skin and I have more energy. I can play with my daughter. And it started to get me thinking outside of my little hamster wheel that I had been on, you know, that there might be more to this 30-something life than I thought that there had been. And that was when I was introduced to the coaching opportunity. My coach that had kind of helped me through the 3-week program mentioned it to me and just said, you know, think about doing what I do. It's all online. It's nothing that you're not already doing. You're just sharing your story in public instead of keeping it private, and just think about it. So, you know, I did, and it was like the first time where I really thought I could be paid to get fit and healthy and actually help people. Like, that was something that I'd never been able to do before. I'd always kind of scrambled in my brain because my passions had never lined up with things that were going to be something that I could have as a business. And my real desire as a student and a young adult was to someday become my own boss, and the path that I took in my career didn't really allow that, and then turning into a mom really didn't allow that. So I kind of tried to brush past it, but it kept coming up, like, if I could do this coaching thing, that opened back up the door for me to be my own business owner one day. And I was like, you know what, I kind of like the sound of that. Not that anything would happen. You know, I'm a mom. I want to have a family. I still have this job that I have to do, and I still have my own physical fitness that I have to work on first. But I could share my story, right? So that fall, I decided, you know, hey, whatever. I am just gonna give it a try. I'm gonna commit to just being open and honest on my social media about what I'm doing with my health and how my mind is, and how nutrition and physical fitness is changing the whole, like, my body and my mind, and helping me handle my lupus and helping me kind of grapple with this scarred and imperfect body. And it was the best thing I ever did. I immediately kind of went into like excited mode all the time. I was pumped to see how much change I could make in my body. I was pumped to try new ways of eating that affected me differently, and learn about new foods that could potentially help me lower my medications and have even more energy and perform better when I worked out. I was excited to try new things that got me out of my comfort zone, because I started to realize that whenever I'm out of my comfort zone, big, cool, awesome things happen, and I liked that feeling. So what did I do after I became a coach? I signed up for a half marathon, and then I signed up for a full marathon. I got pregnant with a second baby, and that was something that I literally wouldn't have done if I hadn't started thinking about that coaching opportunity to begin with. But all these things kind of started to snowball, and as I shared my story, I found people that were just like me and were moms, or you know, in their 30s or somewhere around there, that were really uncomfortable with the way that their body was, really uncomfortable with just life in general, tired, frustrated, not knowing what to do, hanging on to the same weight for so many years and just thinking that's the way that it's got to be. And I was able to start helping them through social media, through at-home programs, to start chiseling away at all that nonsense that they believe, just like I had done to myself, and create this tribe of healthier, happier women that were also sharing their stories. And guys, that's the most empowering thing I've ever done in my life. That, alongside getting in the best shape of my life, alongside doing things that are crazy like running half marathons and whatnot, it started to transform my mind too. And I no longer was the super shy, untalkative, go straight to the corner of the room girl. I was the let's see what else we can take on, what kind of goals we can set, what crazy things can we do as a family? What crazy things can I do as a person? And now, you know, three years later, I'm training for a bikini competition. This girl that used to, I wouldn't even wear shorts in public because I was so ashamed of all the scars on my legs and the way that my body looked. I'm getting up on stage in a teeny weeny bikini to strut off all of my stuff because I'm proud of it and I've earned it. And I'm not scared. I'm excited. And I smile all the time. And my daughter sees it. And now my son sees it. And my husband sees it. And the change is palpable. And I am finally my own boss. Guys, like, you don't understand what a big deal that is for me to say, because when I turned 30, I legit thought that was never going to be my lot in life. But at the age of 33, I was able to say, I'm going to stay at home and I'm going to work from home, and I'm going to make helping people as an online accountability coach my full-time job. And I don't work full-time hours. I work full-time hours as a mom, but I do my coaching thing by continuing to share my story and find people that want to go on the journey with me and just staying accountable for them. And it's really like this give and take relationship. It's amazing for keeping my own accountability where it needs to be, so it doesn't even feel like work. And I get paid to do it, which is amazing. And I guess just even saying it right now makes me just so joyful and so grateful that the opportunity was presented to me, because that girl from 3 years ago, like, she wouldn't recognize the girl of today. And that girl 3 years ago that, you know, didn't want any more kids and wouldn't wear shorts outside and was just crying in her room because all of her clothes looked terrible on her and she just didn't have any self-esteem or self-confidence at all, would never have guessed that that same girl would cross the finish line to a marathon and would strut her stuff on stage after having another baby. Like, it is just incredible to think about. So this transformation hasn't been instantaneous. Like, I didn't do one workout program and all of a sudden I have the body I want and the mindset that I want. It has taken time, but I do want you to know that I started off with a complete closed door attitude to changing my life. I didn't think it was possible. I was 100% confident that I was going to be one of those girls that just had to come home from work and sleep every single day, and that was going to be how I managed my disease. And instead, I'm on less medications than I've ever been on, and I feel more amazing than I've ever felt. And I'm older than I was, which is incredible. For those of you that are familiar with autoimmune diseases, they typically don't get better as you get older. So I just feel incredibly blessed, and I want to share that opportunities can come knocking and you absolutely have to open the door on them. Like, you have to take those weird chances that don't seem like they fit in your life, but if you're presented with them, it might be God's way of saying, like, here is a way to have your prayers answered that you haven't even fathomed yet, because that is completely what happened for me. So thank you guys so much for listening to my story, watching me get super excited about this stuff. It is just finally so refreshing to be able to have, like, my passions and my things that I enjoy and the thing that makes me money and my family all line up together. I don't have to hide who I am. I don't have to pretend that I like doing something I don't. I don't have to try to fit in where I don't belong. I make my own way to fit in, and I find my own way to belong, and I share my passion with others, and that is now how I am able to bring in income for my family, and it's such an incredible feeling. So thanks guys so much. I hope you all have a great night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.